Hello, movie lovers. Today, I have a slightly different story for you. Did you know that behind the glittering golden age of Hollywood, those old Hollywood films we often call classics, lies a rather uncomfortable truth? These are works that are infused with subtle, and sometimes overt, racism. Film after film makes you wonder, could these be those masterpieces? Today, let's delve into 10 Hollywood films that, while still considered classics, are actually imbued with the legacy of racism. So, bring your popcorn, because we might be about to see some shocking content. The first film we'll explore is The Birth of a Nation. This film is considered a symbol of technological innovation in film history. But it's also the film that brought the roots of American racism to life on screen. Made in 1915, the film was produced on a staggering scale and with incredible technology for its time, earning it the title of Hollywood's first blockbuster. But the problem lies in the story within. It portrayed black people as violent and ignorant, white people as defenders of justice, and even portrayed the KKK as heroes. When criticized, director D.W. Griffith, instead of apologizing, claimed injustice, saying, "I'm a victim of censorship." After the film's release, the KKK actually revitalized in the United States, and even its iconic, burning cross, scene was first created in this film. While technically historic, it left a devastating moral legacy. Next is the famous love story, Gone with the Wind. When many people watch this film, the first thing that comes to mind is Scarlett O'Hara's gorgeous dresses and the romantic southern landscapes. However, this romanticism was actually a romantic illusion, built on the foundations of slavery. In the film, black slaves are portrayed as loyal to their masters, always smiling, and happy despite hardship, as if slavery was a good era. Furthermore, the white Southerners in the film are portrayed as symbols of love, courage, and dignity, but that courage was built on the foundation of trampling on human freedom. Furthermore, Oscar-winning actress Hattie McDaniel, being black at the time, was not allowed to sit with her white counterparts at the awards ceremony. What an ironic masterpiece. Beneath the beautiful visuals and captivating music lies an uncomfortable truth. For whom is this nostalgia for? The third is Disney's Dark History. Song of the South. The title alone suggests a joyful song. But the reality is different. It's a work that regales the wounds of slavery as a fairy tale. The black character, Unclemus, tells a moral lesson to a white boy. But the problem lies in the setting. While the film portrays a happy farm where blacks and whites coexist peacefully, the reality of Reconstruction was rife with violence and fear. The pain of that era is erased, and the slave life becomes a mere fairy tale of memories. The catchy song, Zip A D Do Da Tilda, won an Oscar, but sadly, it became a symbol of the glorification of the good old days. Disney later relegated the film to permanent storage, repurposing its content as a theme park ride. Thus, the uncomfortable past of adults was woven into the laughter of children. Now, the fourth installment, Breakfast at Tiffany's, stars the iconic Audrey Hepburn. Sophisticated fashion, beautiful music, New York romance, but one scene ruins it all. It's Mickey Rooney's portrayal of the Japanese neighbor. Yunioshi, yellow makeup, fake teeth, and an exaggerated accent, the epitome of yellow face. Audiences roared with laughter at the time, but watching it now makes their faces tingle. It's considered a prime example of making fun of an Asian character. And even the director later admitted, that was a mistake, but Rooney never apologized, saying, "That's how we all did it back then." The shadow of racism hidden behind Hepburn's elegance is the other side of this film. Finally, we get to the film, The Littlest Rebel, starring the adorable child star Shirley Temple. It's said that during that time, America endured difficult times, captivated by Temple's smile. But behind that angelic smile, a chilling message lurks. In the film, Temple, the daughter of a Confederate officer, enlists the help of black servants to save her father. These servants are willing to risk their lives for their master. Furthermore, there's a scene where young Temple dances in blackface. Audiences at the time raved about how cute it was. But watching it now, it's chillingly chilling. The film portrays the slave-era South as a loving, warm home, and portrays the black characters as loyal and simple-minded. Ultimately, the film instilled the dangerous message that slavery equals nostalgia, even in children. The sixth film, Stagecoach, is often called the textbook Western. It's the legendary film that made John Wayne a star. But that legend was built on someone's suffering. In this film, the Apaches are presented only as nameless, faceless threats. They are cannon fodder, objects of fear, enemies of civilization. When the protagonists shoot them down, the audience applauds. But no one mentions that the scene resembles images of actual historical Native American massacres. Director John Ford was praised for his masterful direction. But at the same time, he deeply ingrained the stereotype of Indians equals savages in Hollywood. Today, this film is still taught as a masterpiece in film schools. But shouldn't the lesson be about the biases embedded within it, not the camera work? And the seventh film, still shocking even in the 1970s, is Mandingo. This film attempted to portray slavery realistically. But the problem was that realism was too sensational. Black slaves are forced to fight, and abuse, violence, and sexual exploitation are staged like a show. The film was marketed as a historical shock, but in reality, human suffering was being sold like a commodity. Some argued that it was progressive in that it dealt with a forbidden love. But that love ultimately ended in tragedy, reinforcing the outdated stereotype that black and white love is impossible. Critics panned it, saying, "This is not a historical drama, but a slave exploitation drama." But it was a box office hit. People still enjoy consuming shock. Now, here's our eighth film, a landmark in film history. The Jazz Singer. This film holds historical significance because it was the world's first sound film. A feature-length film with sound. But do you know whose first words were spoken? It was Al Jolson, a white actor in blackface. He painted his face black, mimicking African American music, and shouted, "Mama," in an exaggerated accent. While it moved people at the time to tears, it's a shocking scene seen today. Hollywood's sound revolution essentially began under the guise of racism. Jolson claimed to respect African American music his entire life. But what he actually did was emulate African American culture and make money. The irony is that when this film is taught in film schools, they always talk about its technical turning point and avoid mentioning the blackface. It's as if they're just covering up an inconvenient truth with subtitles. Let's move on to the ninth film. You've probably all seen the adorable animated film Dumbo. It's the innocent story of a wingless elephant flying through the sky using its ears. The touching music, and the tearjerker. But a closer look reveals that it's not just cute. It's the Crow characters. Did you know that their leader's name was Jim Crow? It's also the name of the racial segregation laws of the American South. Furthermore, the actor who voiced him was white. It was essentially blackface in the animated film. A white person singing and dancing with a black accent. Their song, "When I See an Elephant Fly," has become a children's classic for decades. But the lyrics and accents are steeped in the prejudices of the time. Disney Plus now carries a disclaimer for racial imagery for the film. A belated acknowledgement of their mistakes. But somehow, the moment we see that warning, even we ourselves, who dismiss it with the thought, "It's still cute," feel a little uncomfortable. And the final 10th film, Judge Priest, starred the American comedian Will Rogers. While it's presented as a warm and cheerful story about a Southern country judge, its humor conceals a blatant glorification of the South. In the film, Rogers is portrayed as a white Southern judge, a fatherly figure who says, "We'll take care of everything." However, alongside him is a constantly appearing black servant, who stutters and is terrified, played by Steph Hutch, a popular actor at the time. His performance was praised as cute and funny. But in reality, it was a stereotypically racist character, portraying black people as incompetent and childish. Audiences laughed, and Hollywood made money. However, behind the laughter, the stereotype that black people can't do anything without white help naturally took root. It wasn't comedy, it was subtle brainwashing. If you've made it this far, you might be wondering, why have these films been hailed as masterpieces for decades? Was it simply because of their technical prowess? Because of their stunning visuals? Or was it because we all wanted to ignore that inconvenient truth? Hollywood won awards, garnered honors, and established legends with these works. But behind those legends, people have come to believe distorted images. Black people are lazy. Asians are ridiculous. Native Americans are barbaric, and white people are always the saviors. For a long time, we've enjoyed this as entertainment. Of course, the people who made these films were also products of their time. And it's true that awareness of diversity and human rights wasn't as widespread as it is today. But that doesn't erase the wounds these films left behind. Rather, the reason we need to keep talking about these films is to prevent them from being repeated. Perhaps what we should truly learn from these classic films isn't technical innovation, but what we shouldn't lose. Ultimately, the message of this video is simple: not all classics are good. The word we casually call classic may be steeped in someone's suffering. The term masterpiece always needs to be rewritten as times change. But don't take it too seriously. This is simply a record of Hollywood's mistakes, and an opportunity for us to become more aware. The next time you watch an old masterpiece, try looking at it with a slightly different perspective. You might even hear a voice behind the screen saying, "This is a bit strange." Now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Right finger which of these 10 films, in your opinion, was the most shocking? Right finger, and do you think the term classic still holds true? Right finger, or are we unknowingly creating another modern classic? Please leave your honest thoughts in the comments. Today's movie chat concludes here. See you next time with a less awkward, more humorous topic. Thank you, everyone. And remember, the classics are truly revealed only when revisited. Clapperboard sparkles.